which is the same as this, isn't it? And that's just tangent x times secant x, which is the same as secant x times tangent x. Now that matches the formula, doesn't it? Y'all see what I did? The derivative of cosine x is negative sine x. The derivative of sine x is just cosine x, but derivative of cosine x, it's negative sine. We're taking a break in 10 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 problems to work on in the meantime. So we're going to say we'll come back at 2:55. Okay, 2:55 is when we'll resume, but you need to finish these 2 problems before you take your break. There we go. Okay, here's problem 1. Y equals all right, sorry. Cosecant x times x cubed minus square root of x. Find y prime. Do not simplify. The second one, y is equal to x cubed sine x over x to the 4th plus 1. The second one is a little challenging, and we'll see if you can figure out why it's challenging. First one is just a product rule. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue now. We're going to stay in this in this section because there's a few more things we need to be able to do. Let's take a look at something like this. Y equals x plus 4 over x over x squared minus 1 over x cubed. Find y prime. So you can really start making this very ugly if you start saying, okay, look, I've got a quotient rule, and then each of the quotient rules, like the top and bottom, each have quotients in them, right? Like, do you see that? You've got a quotient, like a big quotient is your f on top and your g on the bottom, right? But then you could also look at the 4 over x as a quotient and the 1 over x cubed as a quotient. We don't want to do that because that's going to make things very ugly. Instead, how could you rewrite 4 over x and 1 over x cubed as something a little bit nicer? I mean, 4 over x is the same as what? 4 times 1 over x, but 1 over x is the same as x to the negative 1. And then on the bottom, we could write x squared minus what? X to the negative 3. And then at this point, we still have our f and g, right? F is the top, g is the bottom. We know that the derivative will be f prime g minus g prime f over g squared. What about f prime? Are you going to be able to take the derivative of f, that top, without doing anything too crazy? And those are all power rules, right? What about the g? Power rule, right? So this should be pretty straightforward. Let's see. F prime should be what? 1 minus 4x to negative 2. Does everyone see that? That's the derivative of the top. Times g, which is x squared minus x to the negative 3, minus, what's g prime? So minus negative would become a plus, right? Plus 3x to the negative 4 times x plus 4x to the negative 1. Everything divided by x squared minus x to the negative 3, but then all that squared. Could we multiply that out? I mean, could you FOIL out those things? Well, where though? This thing? Well, we would have to have a g over here also. In order to cancel, like, it looks like you could cancel one of these with one of these, but this would have to be in both of these. So you can't do that. That would be nice, but can't do it. Okay, let's do another one. How about, there's an example here. Find f double prime of 1 if f of x equals x over 1 plus x squared. All right, so what are we being asked for? The second derivative, right? So we actually have to take the derivative twice and then plug 1 into that answer. The second derivative. So let's look at the first derivative. The first derivative, which rule am I going to use for first derivative? Quotient rule, right? Now, I'm already using f as my function here, so I'm going to call this h over k. Is that all right? H over k? So the derivative should be h prime k minus k prime h over k squared. What is h prime? 1 times k, 1 plus x squared, minus derivative of k, which is 2x, times h, which is x, all over 1 plus x squared squared, right? 1 plus x squared squared. This is going to suck. Because we have to take derivative again, don't we? Yes. Can't cancel which one out? Cannot. Yep. Because there's not one on the other top right side. So what we'll do is we'll just clean this up. This is 1 plus x squared minus 2x squared all over 1 plus x squared squared, which is 1 minus x squared over 1 plus x squared squared. Do y'all agree with that? Anyone have a question on where I got any of that? Okay, that's my first derivative, right? Now I have to take the second derivative. So I've got to do derivative again. So I've got now, I'm going to identify them again. I'll call them h and k again, even though they're not the same h and k, right? But it's another quotient. So my second derivative will be equal to h prime k minus k prime h over k squared. What's going to cause an issue here? Yeah, the k prime, right? Like, look at the h prime is just the derivative of that, right? 1 minus x squared. That's just going to be negative 2x, right? So we're okay with that? But the bottom, the k prime, that's this guy squared. And this guy, that's that one's derivative. And so what are you going to have to do to figure out k prime? Yeah, you're going to have to actually square it out. And you could look at it you could actually do a product rule on it too, but here's where I'm just going to kind of stop and just be like, okay, hold the boat here. K is equal to 1 plus x squared squared. I'm going to just multiply it out. 1 plus 2x squared plus x to the fourth. So what did I do there? Foiled it, right? And now what's the derivative of that? Isn't that nice? That's going to be that green part, right? That's going to go there. Do y'all get that or not? Ask me a question if you don't. Okay, I did this right here. This is equal to 1 plus x squared times 1 plus x squared. And then I did a FOIL. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times x squared is x squared. X squared times 1 is another x squared, so that's 2x squared. And then x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. Okay. So that's the next line. And then the next line is the derivative. Is that a little better? Yeah? Okay. Anyone else have a question on where any of that came from? All right, so here we go. Second derivative is h prime. What's h prime, everyone? Negative 2x times k. K was 1 plus x squared squared, though, right? Minus k prime, which is 4x plus 4x cubed, times h, which was 1 minus x squared, all over k squared, which is 1 plus x squared squared squared, which is to the fourth. Yes? No, it's not wrong. If you put the 1 plus 2x squared plus x to the fourth squared, that would be okay. Is that what you're asking? Like in the denominator, instead of this, having 1 plus 2x squared plus x to the fourth, but then you would have squared instead. That would be okay also. Okay, this is our derivative though, right? This thing right here? That's our derivative. And we need to plug 1 into that. 1. So I want to know what f double prime of 1 is. It'd be negative 2 times 1 is 1 plus 1 squared is 1 squared minus 4 plus 4 times 1 minus 1 is 0 all over 1 plus 1 to the fourth. So I'm just replacing all my x's with 1's, right? Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 8 over